My beloved child, let your heart become still in this moment. For I want to remind you of something that has always been true from the very beginning. You belong to me. Before you could do anything to prove your worth, before you were strong enough to stand firm, before you even knew how to name the fears surrounding you, I loved you with a love that placed no conditions upon you. That love does not come and go according to your changes. It does not increase when you do well, nor does it run dry when you are weak. I have called you my beloved not because you are perfect, but because you were created within my good purpose, covered by my mercy, and invited to walk in a trust that rises above what your eyes can see. Therefore, do not allow the things before your eyes to determine your hope. There are days when circumstances seem to cover the sky with thick clouds, making it difficult for you to recognize that the light is still there. There are seasons when the promise seems delayed. The road ahead appears unclear, and your heart must fight not to be pulled into worry. But I tell you that faith is not walking only when everything is already clear. Faith is holding my hand even when you cannot yet see the whole path. Faith does not deny the storm, but it knows that the one who is with you is greater than every wind. Faith does not make you escape from trials, but helps you pass through them with a peace the world cannot give. You have not been called to live shrinking back in fear, nor to avoid every hardship as though hardships had the right to determine your future. I have placed within you a higher calling to pass through the valleys in my name, to stand firm amid every shaking by my support, and to reflect my light in places where hope is lacking. The anointing I have placed upon you is not only so that you may be comforted for yourself, but so that your life may become a sign that I am still working, still preserving, still lifting up those who trust in me. When you live in my love, you do not merely survive each day, you become a small yet steadfast lamp in its place where many are losing their way. Remember Daniel in a foreign land, when he was taken into a place no longer familiar with his homeland, his customs, or the things that had supported him from childhood. In the eyes of people, he was only a man placed among royal power and immeasurable pressure. Yet in that place, he still kept his heart turned toward me. He did not allow the palace to make him forget holiness, did not allow threats to make him lose faithfulness, and did not allow the lion's den to become the final point of the promise. Right in the place that seemed like a sentence of punishment, I revealed my preserving power. Do you see? My beloved child, I do not always remove you immediately from every difficult place, but I can make that difficult place become a stage where my faithfulness is displayed. What was once used to frighten you can become evidence that I never left you. Therefore, in every season, hold tightly to my word, as a traveler holds a lamp in the depth of night. My word will be your weapon when voices of doubt rise up, your refuge when your strength is worn down, and your compass when you stand before many crossroads and do not know which direction to follow. Do not merely store my word as a beautiful sound in your memory. Let it soak into the way you think, the way you choose, and the way you respond to things that do not go as you desire. When the storms rise, let your heart still sing the song of trust, not because you never grow tired, but because you know I am the one who never grows weary. Not because you have never trembled, but because you know my hand is still strong enough to keep you from collapsing. I am always here, my beloved child. I am here in the days when you clearly feel supported. And I am also here in the days when you can only take small steps in silence. I am here when you have answers. And I am also here when you are still learning how to wait. I am here when you feel courageous. And I am also here when you must speak to me with all your weakness. My love does not decrease according to your wavering. My promise does not become fragile because circumstances change. What I have spoken over your life is not erased by a difficult season. a stumble, or a long night filled with tears, I am the faithful one, and my faithfulness does not rest upon your emotions, but upon my own eternal nature. So hear me, not only with your ears, but with the deepest part of your heart. The faith you place in me will not be put to shame. You may not yet see the full picture, but I am the one holding every line together. You may not yet understand why there are winding paths, but I know how to bring you to the exact place prepared for you. You may not yet know how tomorrow will open, but I am already present in tomorrow before you step into it. The good thing I have begun in you will not be left unfinished halfway. I am not the one who begins a work and then forgets to complete it. I do not sow a holy seed within you only to leave it to wither beneath the drought. I care for what belongs to me, and you belong to me. Therefore, rest in my love as one who has found a firm rock amid great waters. Do not let your heart be pulled away by uncertainties. Do not let fear teach you how to look at the future. Do not let delays make you think that I am no longer listening. I am still listening. I still see. I am still working in a way that is wise, merciful, and perfectly timed. Keep walking, not by forcing yourself forward, but by trusting. Be strong and still gentle, courageous and still humble, steadfast and still full of love. I, your God, do not merely walk with you for a short distance. I am with you until the end of time. In every place you are sent, in every season you must pass through, and in every promise I am bringing into form. Now I invite you to offer me thanksgiving, not as a dry ritual, but as a fragrance rising from a heart that has recognized my hand in every stage of the journey. Gratitude opens doors that complaint often closes. Gratitude brightens your eyes so you can recognize the grace that has quietly lifted you in days that seemed ordinary. Gratitude pulls you out of a mindset of lack and places you back into the abundance of my love. When you give thanks, you do not deny the things that once hurt you, but you declare that pain does not have the final word. When you give thanks, you do not pretend that everything is easy, but you acknowledge that I have been with you through it all. So speak to me with sincerity, my Lord. I thank you for the unchanging love that has covered me through every season. I thank you because you have kept me in the moments when I could not keep myself, because you have led me through turns I once did not understand, and because you have provided for me even when my hands seemed empty. I thank you because in the days when I doubted, you remained patient. In the times when I stumbled, you still bent down to lift me up. And in the moments when I was weary, you still breathed into me the warmth of hope. I cannot count all the good things you have done, for many blessings came to me quietly like morning dew. But I know they all carry the mark of your kindness. And when thanksgiving has opened a way within you, continue speaking to me about trust, even when there are still things before your eyes that remain unclear. Tell me that you choose to believe, not because you understand everything, but because you know the one in whom you believe is faithful. Give me the worries you have carried for too long. Lay down the questions that have weighed heavily upon your heart. Let me teach you that peace does not come from knowing every answer, but from being near the one who holds every answer. My beloved child, speak to me with all the truth inside your heart, for I am not distant from you. I am listening. I am holding you with unconditional love, and I am leading you forward on the path my grace has illuminated. My beloved child, there are victories that are not announced by the sound of trumpets, yet they echo far in the spiritual realm. There are choices no one sees, no one praises, and no one recognizes with words. Yet before me they shine like jewels refined in fire. Every time you have the right to resent but choose forgiveness. Every time you could respond with bitterness but choose to keep your heart gentle. Every time you are misunderstood, yet do not allow darkness to steal your peace. In that very moment, my light is rising within you. You may think it is only a small decision, only a quiet moment, but I see in it a precious surrender, and what is precious is never forgotten in my eyes. Do not look down on the things you do in silence, for most true glory does not begin in the crowd, but in hidden rooms, in quiet choices, in the times when you stop before the door of anger and tell yourself that you will not enter it, when you choose the narrow path, even if few understand it. Few walk with you, and sometimes it makes you feel alone. I am still there with you. It is on that narrow path that your heart is enlarged. It is in refusing easy ways that you are kept from the things that could dim the light I have placed within you. You do not need to prove your nobility with grand words. The nobility within you is revealed through the way you live, purely when no one is watching, faithfully when no one is applauding, and lovingly when love is not returned as you hoped. There is a holy beauty in quiet service that the world often overlooks. People often seek the spotlight, seek position, and seek to hear their names called among the crowd. But I delight in a heart that knows how to bow low. When you help a weary person without needing their gratitude, when you yield the better portion to someone else without keeping account, when you choose to step back so peace may be preserved, when you sow a kind word into someone's gloomy day, each of those actions is like fragrance rising before me. You think those deeds are small, but in my hand, what is small can become a vessel holding the brightness of heaven. My glory does not always flow through things that appear dazzling to the world. Many times, it flows through a hand that knows how to lift up, a gaze that knows mercy, a word withheld at the right time, and a silence filled with wisdom. Remember the Shunammite woman in the time of Elisha. She did not stand in the temple to proclaim great things, nor did she try to make her name resound. She simply recognized my servant passing by and quietly prepared a small room, a bed, a table, a chair, and a lamp so that he would have a place to rest. What she did seemed simple, yet from that quiet hospitality, a stream of blessing was opened in her household. Do you see, my beloved child? There are heavenly doors that do not open through the noise of ambition, but through hidden kindness. There are miracles that are not planted in the spotlight, but in a small room prepared with reverent love. When you serve with a heart that does not demand to be seen, I see. When you offer ordinary things with extraordinary love, I make them holy. Therefore, do not think that you must speak many words in order to reveal me. Sometimes a life set in order by love is stronger than 1,000 arguments. Sometimes a small act of kindness opens a door that harsh debates could never touch. This generation is weary from too many voices but too little gentleness. Too many promises but too little faithfulness. Too many artificial lights but too little warmth from true love. I have placed you in this age not so that you would blend into that noise, but so that you would become a different breath, a different sign, a place where people can feel that there is still peace from heaven, still kindness that cannot be bought or sold, still hope that circumstances cannot swallow. You were created to carry my mark, not as a rigid symbol, but as a living life. When you love without calculation, you reflect my nature. When you forgive, though your heart has been hurt, you show the world a power that does not come from your own strength. When you remain humble while being lifted up, you testify that the light within you was not lit by your own hand. When you choose simplicity and my will, instead of chasing achievements merely to be recognized, you are stepping into the place where true glory dwells. That glory is not noisy, not showy, and does not need to compete for position. It is like the dawn slowly spreading over the earth, gentle, yet impossible to stop. I want you to understand that true light does not need to advertise itself. It only needs to keep burning. People may not recognize it immediately. They may not be able to name what is different about you. They may even once have looked down on your gentleness. But over time, they will see that there is something in you that is not swept away by the current of this life. They will see that you can be in pain without becoming cruel, wounded without losing compassion, waiting without falling into despair, and passing through trials while still keeping a gentle ray of light in your eyes. And when they wonder why you can live this way, that is, when your life becomes a quiet invitation leading them toward me. My child, my glory does not come upon you so that you may become the center. I did not place light within you so your name would be raised like a tower for people to admire. I placed that light so that through you, others may know that I am still alive, still loving, still healing, still calling weary hearts to return. If one day someone looks at you and says they feel a peace they have never known before, remember to point to me with humility. If they ask why you still have hope after difficult seasons, let your answer not only rest on your lips, but radiate from the way you live. If they are amazed by your forgiveness, let them understand that you do not forgive because you have never been hurt, but because I first loved you, first lifted you up, and taught you that mercy is stronger than the chains of resentment. Therefore, keep yourself close to me in every season. When others notice you, become even smaller in my presence. When more is entrusted to you, love the hidden place even more. When you hear praise, let your heart pass through that praise and return to the one who has given every good thing. Do not let the gaze of people make you forget the source. Do not let achievement draw you away from your first simplicity. Do not let recognition cause you to trade away the tender heart I have shaped within you through many seasons. You are most beautiful, not when you try to shine, but when you abide in me and allow my light to flow naturally through you. O my child, continue living with small yet enduring kindness. Continue sowing good words. Even if the soil before you seems dry, continue choosing forgiveness. Even if old memories sometimes return and knock at the door, continue serving in silence. Even if no one has yet understood the value of what you are doing, continue walking in love. For that love is the clearest mark of me upon your life. One day, you will look back and realize that the things that seemed most hidden were the very places where my glory shone most brightly. The moments when you chose me over the voice of wounded pride, chose peace over winning an argument, chose service over self-display, it chose love over closing your heart. All of these have become streams of light connecting your life to my goodwill. And now, walk forward with a quiet heart. You do not need to strain to become special in the eyes of the world. You only need to remain in my love, allowing every thought, word, and action to be soaked in the gentleness of heaven. When you live this way, I will be made known through you without your needing to display yourself. People will see in you a peace that is not easy to explain, a joy that does not depend on circumstances, a forgiveness that goes beyond what is ordinary, and a humility that is not false. And when they see those traces, they will not only see you, they will recognize that my light is quietly touching them. That is true glory, not making your name shine for yourself, but causing me to be revealed through a life that knows how to love, bow low, forgive, serve, and reflect the Father with all the purity of the heart. My beloved child, the flame I have placed within you is not a fragile light that flares up for a moment and then fades with the wind. It is a flame fed by grace, protected through days of heavy rain, and preserved through long nights when you thought you had only the last little warmth left to keep going. There were times when you did not recognize what I was doing, because everything happened too quietly, too deeply, too differently from what you had expected. But I want you to know that in the places no one saw, I was adding more oil to your lamp. In the hours when you bowed your head in prayer without applause, without witnesses, without praise, I made the light within you more enduring, purer, and not easily extinguished by any wind of this life. Now I am no longer keeping you forever in the hidden place as before, not because the secret place has lost its value, but because what I built in silence has now reached the time to be revealed in a humble and holy way. You do not step out to seize a position, nor to exalt yourself before people, nor to seek fading wreaths of honor. You step out to testify that my hand can still restore what seemed worn down, still bring light to places once covered in darkness, and still transform someone who once trembled into a vessel carrying the light of heaven. You step out not so that people will look at you and praise you, but so that, through the renewal within you, they may recognize me as the faithful one, the gentle one, the one who never leaves unfinished the good work I have begun. Remember that you did not arrive at this moment through one brief step. You have passed through many seasons, and each season carried its own lesson, its own purification, and its own preparation. There was a season when I awakened you amid chaotic sounds, so you would learn to discern what was the call of life and what was the whisper leading you away from peace. There was a season when I taught you to wait, not to exhaust you, but so the roots of your faith would grow deeper into the soil of grace. There was a season when you had to face battles you could not avoid, not because I abandoned you, but because there are strengths that are formed only when you learn to stand firm under my guidance. And there was also a season when I allowed you to see the first fruits of the promise, so you would understand that not a single day of faithfulness is forgotten before me. For this reason, do not view the journey behind you as scattered fragments with no connection to one another. Every reminder, every time you were pulled back from the edge of discouragement, every door that closed, every door that opened, every silence that seemed meaningless, all of these are lines in the picture I am painting in your life. You once thought you were only trying to get through each day, but I was training you to step into a greater calling. You once thought you were only waiting for an outward change, but I was changing you from the deepest place before changing the circumstances around you. You once thought you were merely someone listening to promises, but I was preparing you to become someone who carries those promises through a transformed life. Remember Moses when he was in the wilderness of Midian? In human eyes, those years may have looked like a step backward, like a life pushed aside after painful events. But in my eyes, the wilderness was not a place where destiny was buried. It was the place where I softened a heart that had once been hasty, where I taught a man who had once held power in the palace to bow before the holy presence. When the bush burned, yet was not consumed, Moses realized that even the most ordinary thing can become a place of divine encounter when I am present. You are the same. There were years when you thought you had been removed from the main flow of life, but in truth, I was preparing you in a quiet land. I was teaching you that true fire does not need to burn everything up in order to prove its strength. The fire that comes from me shines brightly while still preserving, gives direction without destroying, and reveals power while remaining full of mercy. Say, when I call you to rise, rise not with pride, but with gentle reverence. Lift your head not to look down on others, but to remember that your help comes from above. Walk with steady feet, but do not let that steadiness become hardness. Keep your heart tender before me, because a tender heart in my hand is stronger than every wall people build for themselves. I do not want you to become a loud voice in a world already filled with too much noise. I want you to become a clear echo, a humble witness, a lamp placed in the right position so that anyone who is weary may find a little hope, and anyone who is lost may recognize a way to return. You are no longer the child of the early days, when every wind could throw you into confusion, when every judgment could make you doubt your worth, when every delay could make you think I had forgotten. I have taught you through silence, lifted you through trials, and healed you through the times when you thought you could not keep going. I have restored within you what had been worn down, purified what had been clouded by fear, and placed upon you an anointing that does not come from human recognition, but from my hidden choosing. What I have placed within you, no one can take away. If you remain close to me, the light I have given you, no one can extinguish. If you continue to let me be the source of oil that never runs dry, from now on, do not live merely as someone trying to survive, each shaking. You have been called to reflect my love, truth, mercy, and glory in the places where you are present, not always through grand words that resound loudly, but through the way you love when others are dry. Forgive when hurt wants to close your heart. Persevere when the road has not yet fully opened, and keep your heart upright when no one is checking on you. Your mission is not only found in great works before crowds, but also in every small choice in daily life. When you choose truth instead of compromise, you reflect me. When you choose peace instead of retaliation, you reflect me. When you choose to remain in faith instead of chasing fear, you reflect me. Therefore, my beloved child, step into this season with alertness and gratitude. Do not fear the light I have placed upon you, but do not use that light to decorate your own ego. Let everything you do become a mirror pointing toward me. Let every open door remind you that grace is the one who went before you. Let every elevation cause you to bow even lower in love. I do not bring you out of the hidden place so that you will forget the place that nourished you. I bring you out so that you may carry the fragrance of that place into lands that need healing. I do not give you a voice so that you may overpower others, but so that you may comfort, build up, awaken, and guide with gentle wisdom. O my child, step into this new chapter with peace. Do not step in with fear that the past will repeat itself, nor with haste to prove anything. Step in as one who has been taught by love, supported by an invisible hand, and preserved through places that seemed impossible to overcome. I did not bring you this far to abandon you at the threshold. I was with you in the beginning, with you in the season of testing, and I will also be with you when new glory opens before your eyes. What you now carry within you is no longer the immaturity of the early days, but the quiet depth of one who has been prepared. Therefore, believe that this moment is not the end, but an invitation to step into the next part of the promise. The things you endured did not make you smaller. They widened the space within you to contain greater grace. The days when you thought you were hidden were not useless days. They were the season when I covered you from the hurried gaze of the world so I could complete the hidden work. And now, as I call you forward, move forward with a tender heart, with pure courage, and with feet that know how to listen to my rhythm. I will open a way in ways you do not expect. Place into your hands responsibilities worthy of the maturity I have built, and make your life a sign of my mercy for many who need hope. My beloved child, lift your head. The old season has fulfilled its purpose. The things that once made you cry have become springs of wisdom. The places that once made you tremble have become altars of faith. The steps that once lost their rhythm have now learned how to walk in my gentle guidance. From today onward, you will no longer walk as one searching for signs in confusion, but as one who has been prepared to become a sign of light. Keep your heart near me, and you will see that this new chapter is not only for you to be blessed, but also so that through you, many other hearts may be awakened, comforted, and brought back to the peace I have always desired to give.